to my channel. My name is Mariah, and here on my channel I post lifestyle, university and physiotherapy related content. So if you're interested in that, make sure you subscribe, turn notifications to all so you don't miss a video. I am in my final year of my MSc Masters at the University of Birmingham. So that for that, not too long now, but still a long amount of time to go. But anyway, just wanted to say sorry for not really posting. I've just been so focused on this placement, and I have a week left. Well, this week and the following week left to go. I'm just tired. I'm just tired. I'm ready for Christmas, and even then, Christmas break, I'm not really getting a break. But anyway, you didn't come here for that. You came here to hear about the MSc, BSc, and the MSCi. So I'm gonna give you a brief overview. The BSc is one you do when you don't have a prior degree. So with a BSc, you will do 3 years for the physio degree. Many universities have this option to do this degree as the BSc option, like that. So it's 3 years. Loads of universities, what I've written down here. Another good thing about it, if you're doing an undergrad version versus the MSCi or the MSc, is that it's not as intense. Like, I remember when I was doing a BSc, I did BSc Sports Science, so it's slightly different. But because you had 3 years, you had more time for things to be broken down and explained to you on a different level, and you had more time to cover more content, versus me in the Masters right now, which is only 2 years, and the content that people would, that the base content that you would cover in those 3 years and beyond, like the depth beyond that, we don't have that time to do that. So quite a bit of it is like, oh, we need placement to teach me those kind of things, because it's kind of like, oh, well, you either learn that on your own or placement's going to teach you that, and even then it's kind of like learn it on your own. So that's like the downside of things. In terms of like the setup, every university is obviously different. That's like same thing with like the other ones, but every university is obviously different. But from what I know, that typically many universities on the undergrad don't start placements until second year, so they give you that first year to get your knowledge, get your understanding of like what it is to be a physiotherapist, get your understanding of the content, the anatomy, etc. Because you get a little bit more support with anatomy in your undergrad, in the undergrad versus in the masters. So you get a little bit more time before they send you out on placement. But there are some universities that do like a 1 or 2 placements in the first year of the BSc. So really check and see which one suits you best. Obviously I'm doing the MSc, and we have placements in the first year and in the second year currently. But now moving on to, so I feel like there was something else I was gonna write. Oh yeah, which is cool. Even if you have a degree prior, you can obviously do the BSc. But typically it's people who are like A levels or have done IB Tech, for example. So the typical age group you would see in a BSc is like 18 up throughout the years. And now moving up to the MSc, which is what I'm doing. So 2 years, it's an intense degree. I'm only talking from how Birmingham sets it up. If you want to see how other universities set it up, I did do a few videos a couple months back where I interviewed some of my friends on their journeys through MSCs or like BScs or just other universities. And they shared the structure of their university, so I will leave them down in the not the comments, in the description below, so you can check that out. But so with Birmingham, the way it's set up is that like first year we didn't really do anatomy. We just broke down the modules into transition to physiotherapy, which was it was more like learning how to do reflections and kind of how to do a portfolio, but not really. It wasn't like a CPD portfolio. It was just a portfolio piece of work, like an essay. And then we had therapeutic rehabilitation. So like we had like a class each week on either pressure points, one on massage, etc., whatever. We had MSK for 2 semesters, so that covered the whole of first year. Cardiorespiratory, sorry, is 1 semester. Neuro was 1 semester. So that's how it was broken down for us. And then second year right now, I had a placement before this placement, and that was my 3rd placement. And then because we did 2 in our first year, and now I'm currently on my 4th placement, and then I have a 5th placement, a 6th placement, in between my in between my 4th and my 5th placement. I'm expected to be doing most of my dissertation work, and then my elective placement, which is my 6th placement, is my last placement and my last thing I do for university, so that my dissertation will be submitted before I go on my elective, and then at the end of my elective I'm out of here. So I'm done in that case. But yeah, so that's kind of how it's set up. The downside to doing an MSc is kind of like what I was saying with the BSc. With the BSc you get time to really submit your knowledge, whereas in the MSc you don't. There's time flies by really quickly. You don't get a lot of free time to not that you don't get a lot of free time, but in terms of like you don't really get a lot of that time that you'd have in an undergrad to like really pace yourself. So yeah, that's one thing to bear in mind. A lot of universities do offer the degree. Quite recently, a lot more are offering the pre-reg degree. For me, from what I've experienced, the only downside to loads more universities now offering the pre-reg degree is that it's making it harder for universities that were in the area before these ones came about to find placements, because now everybody, you know, the demand is so high but the availability is so small. So that's also something to bear in mind. So I almost didn't get this placement that I'm currently on. So just something to bear in mind, but it won't necessarily be something you can control, but I just thought I'd mention it just in case you think it's something you're the only one going through. But yeah, loads of universities are doing this degree, but from what I'm hearing down the grapevine, quite a few universities may start changing from running the BSc to the MSCi. So MSCi is basically as it sounds. You do BSc for 3 years and you stay an additional year and do an MSc. So this is a 4-year qualification. So far, when I've searched online, the only 2 universities that I see does it is Birmingham and Kiel, University of Kiel, Keele, Kiel, yeah. They're them. Those 2 are the only 2 that run the degree right now, and from what I've seen when I've glimpsed on their sites, the structure is very different. So I would say definitely check that out. But yes, it's 4 years. Obviously you're still going to need the same amount of placement hours of 1,000 hours to like qualify as a registered physio, but it's just very, very different. The only thing like I would say for someone who wants to go for an MSCi is pick a university that has a little bit of experience. Like, I don't know when you're watching this video, but for me, I'm always in my head when a university's just come out with a course. I mean, even if yeah, it's good when you have a good track record with how you've run the course before at other levels, but more so like, I ain't no guinea pig. So I thought I'd mention that. And another thing I got down here though, is that like, from what I've heard, don't count me on this. From what I've heard is that when you want to apply for certain higher levels, let's say in the NHS, you need some kind of master qualification. I heard a physio say that on this current placement, but I don't know how true that is, because I've heard quite a few people without masters have been able to climb the ranks. So don't take that for gospel, check that out, but I thought I'd mention that because that is what I heard, and if someone knows the answer, please feel free to correct me because I actually want to know. But it's like an advantage having the masters there, because you could always be like, I did a masters. So yeah, and also if you want to do an MSCi, it's easier than, you know, finishing an undergrad, then to coming out of that uni and going into another uni for the master's, unless obviously your undergrad in something different and you decide, you know, I don't want to do a BSc again or whatever. Like, everything has their advantages, all of them have their disadvantages as well. So it's really based on you and what you would like to do and what you think works best for your needs and your life, really. But yeah, I thought I'd just do that little brief overview, and yeah, don't know when this video will come out, probably hopefully by the end of this week. If not, there might be another one before I wrap it up for the new year, and then I'll see you guys in 2023, hopefully with some holiday content, because this girl is going to be traveling. Anyway, I'll see you guys. Bye.